For the gentleman who needs absolutely no introduction, Coach K, thank you once again for being with us on 24 Hours Nothing But Net. You have helped us incredibly with our awareness around Special Olympics and this event that we're doing. So thanks for being with us.
Yeah, it's an honor. And thank you. Was it your sixth year now? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, hard to believe. And uh, from what I tell from the stats, your percentage keeps going up. Uh, are you sure you're not showing some of the misses, or are you actually hitting over 90% of your free throws?
You know what, Coach? Last year, 22 of the 24 hours, I was over 90%. So I am trying to shoot it at a high clip because, nobody wants to tune in on the live stream and see somebody shoot a bunch of bricks. They'd rather listen to you than see that. So let's hope it's a nice, clean day where the sun's shining. And I don't mind the heat, but if
No
any of
wind,
the elements.
no wind. Try to not a windy day.
Well, Coach, you are the ultimate servant leader. You come at philanthropy from an incredible, solid foundation from where you grew up to what you do now. Tell us a little bit about why.
Well, it's really to whom much is given, much is expected. And some of us have been luckier than others with opportunities, health-wise, people-wise, where success came. Success is never easy, but it comes sometimes easier to some people. For me, I've been surrounded by very talented people. My family was always about helping others. And now we have, not now, but for a while, we've had a good platform to be able to help causes. And I'm happy, to be a small part of this Special Olympics. Um, I, when you see Special Olympics and those youngsters going after it, um, they're all winners, in every race and every competition, and it's genuine. It's so genuine, and I know that the people who help in that regard are benefit so greatly from seeing that type of effort and that type of purity. And for you guys to do this to raise money for Special Olympics, but also awareness, I applaud you for doing it.
Well, thank you, Coach. You're a big part of helping us do this. I mean, this is the premier interview on the live stream. I mean, I don't think we can get any better than Coach K, honestly. This is a thrill for me every year that you agree to do this. And I think that's a part of, the relationship building piece of, what we do in our jobs in college basketball. And for you, retirement has seemed to work out pretty well. You look great. I know you're coming off a little bit of a surgery from January. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm good. I had an in-bone ankle replacement, and they had to realign my left foot. I now have most of my body parts given to me from medical people, two hips, two knees, and one ankle. I'm trying to save my right ankle, but now everything's good. I'm fortunate to be at a place that has amazing medical people that can help me. Debbie, when I spent my whole life working with youngsters, now they were college, but they're still young, and you have too. And uh, the joy you get from working with these young men and women is unbelievable. And I'm not sure if we give them more than they give us, by working with them. And that's the way I felt. And as a result, you stay young because you're always interacting with young, enthusiastic, hardworking, kids that want to have fun. And that's why I applaud you for this. I don't think as much as that's done for Special Olympics, more should be done. And I just hope this year, you can still hit a few free throws. I worry about you. That Do you feel pressure? Do you, I know you're doing so many of them, but I guess
Yeah.
the pressure to get them done is that's a big thing, right?
Yeah, I feel pressure to be in the best conditioning so that I can do it at a high level, so that I really believe when people see the percentage and they know. The only time I ever want anybody to know how old I am is when I'm in the driveway making free throws, because I think that helps us. I really do think it
Yeah,
helps. And so that's a part of the motivation. So do I feel pressure? Yeah, I feel a little bit of pressure to do it at a high level. And now I've set a bar for myself that is really hard to reach each year. Yeah, I feel a little pressure, sure. But I think, isn't that the way we've always lived our careers? Like, that's something that I welcome. When I get to call a Duke men's basketball game, I feel a little more pressure than other games, but that's a good thing because it makes me better. It makes me sharper, makes me dig a little deeper. I think it helps us. How do you
yeah,
feel about pressure?
yeah. I remember what Kobe Bryant said about pressure. Pressure's an opportunity. At least in com the competition that we're, fortunate enough to compete in. It's not the pressure of having an incurable disease, not having a job, not having, this is good pressure. This is really good pressure. And then when you get it, when you do it, you feel good. Uh, you feel good that you've done it, and you feel good that why you have done it. For me, Debbie, how and what you do is so important, but why you do it makes how and what a heck of a lot better. And why you're doing this, uh, yeah, that's the motivation that you need. And you see the results. I mean, you guys have raised close to, over $800,000 over the last 5 years, and if we can do a good job this year, we should hit that seven-figure mark.
Yeah, it seems kind of crazy to even say it, or when it comes out of my mouth. But the other thing too, coach, is, there's no shortcut to doing this, right? When I'm in my driveway and I'm doing my free throw burpee routine, there's no cheating the process. Like, there's no shortcut, because then ultimately I'm not doing this for myself. I'm doing it for other people. And that's where the motivation comes from, right? To
Right.
serve those that need help, or families like mine that I know the value of Special Olympics and how the money goes directly to help the athletes train and organize and compete and socialize. It's a really important part of the total well-being of people that are living with intellectual disability.
Yeah, and you have empathy for this. You've lived this, but you've also seen success.
Mhm.
Amazing success because of the commitment you have had and the people around you have had. And you've gotten a lot back from what you've given. But I, I, when I think of you, I think of how you're motivated to do this, and because you've seen how it can work,
Yeah.
how the happiness, the success that can happen as a result of helping youngsters who they need help, but they need guidance in that world that they're in. And you've you've dived right into that world your whole life, and you've been blessed, and so has your son. He is he's a character.
He
he
is.
he is, and a good character. I mean, he's and every time I've seen him, he's got a smile on his face. You talk about with Special Olympics attitude. As a coach, it's the single biggest thing that a player can give you is a great attitude. And everyone who's been associated with Special Olympics, come on, tell me that
Mhm.
all those kids share one common bond. They have great attitudes. We can learn a lot from watching them compete from having fun and interacting with one another. They help each other out too. They're unselfish. All right, I'm listing all the things that it takes to have a championship team. Yeah,
Right.
and and that's what we see in Special Olympics.
Well, we are so blessed that you would take some time from your busy schedule, coach, because people think you're retired and you're putting your feet up. I know you're doing a lot more than that, and you've got a busy schedule. And I would love to talk a lot of basketball with you, but I don't want to keep you. I'm so grateful that you took the time. And thank you for all the service that you've provided to USA basketball. We have an Olympic year coming up. What about that, coach? Let me ask you about the Olympics, because that's going to be
Yeah.
in Paris. Are you going?
No, I'm not going, but behind the scenes, I do a little bit, not in offense, defense, just to talk about what we did. I had the opportunity to coach our U.S. team in 3 Olympics and a couple World Championships, and it's a different it's a different competition. And a lot of people don't realize for the Olympics, there are only 12 teams that compete. You have to earn the right. And the U.S. is one of 8 teams right now. There'll be 4 qualifiers before the Paris Olympics. And it's one and done once you get out of pool play. And that's a big thing for the NBA players to understand. They go to these 7-game uh,
Yeah.
playoffs where if you lose, you got another chance. If you lose in this, you don't have another chance. So it's the best. Paris will be unbelievable. Paris will be unbelievable. And hopefully our U.S. team, coached by Steve Kerr, will be unbelievable also.
Well, I have no doubt. I know you're doing a little bit more behind the scenes than you're probably willing to share, just because who wouldn't want to take advantage of all of your experience and all the gold that you have won for our country, coach. The last thing I want to ask you about, because I can't let you go without asking you about Clark, Caitlin Clark. Clarkonomics is what I call it. I know you had her on your radio show. It was an incredible interview. She's absolutely amazing. When you watch what has happened to basketball, especially on the women's side, and you getting to know her a little bit, what would you say about what Caitlin Clark's been able to do for basketball?
Well, I'm a big proponent of the women's game. Actually, I think the men's game should be more like the women's game, and because the women's game is as close to the international and WNBA game as, and we should all be playing the same game. And so to see its growth is unbelievable. Caitlin has been truly amazing, and for her to handle, there have to be 3 of her sometimes when you see all the interviews, commercials, and all the things that she's on. But what a great representative. And she was terrific on my show. Uh, I think this is a moment where women's basketball, we have to keep building. Keep building. It's such a good game. They play more together than the men do. There's not as, although when you see Caitlin come down and shoot a 35-footer, you may not think that, but how exciting. And one last thing about her, in women's college basketball, I mean, there still is a transfer portal, but not like the men's game. And so Caitlin Clark became a hero in that Iowa Hawkeye community before she became a hero nationally. In other words, she was nurtured by a fan base that loved her. And most of the time, the young women stay for 3 or 4, they stay for 4 years. And that's something the men's game doesn't have. And I think it's a big thing if we can keep that going for the women's game. And these heroes, these heroines, uh, they their communities hug them and cheer for them, and it's not just the young girls in the stands that watch; it's the young boys that watch. It's the youngsters that watch because they can see a continuity of growth and a continuity of support. She didn't just happen; she was always becoming. that's a beautiful journey. And I think she's still going to be becoming.
I think so too, Coach. I mean, I think she's just she's on this incredible steep rise, right? And we've all enjoyed watching it. I know I've never seen anything like it. I played against Cheryl Miller in college, and I've covered all of them since. And it is amazing to watch what she's been able to do. And quite honestly, she's 5'11", 6 foot, about 150 pounds. And when you watch her play, you think that she's some long athletic. She's fast and athletic, but she's not. Her presence doesn't make you think that she's this dominant person. So I think it gives hope to all the players that you're talking about, these little boys and little girls that are probably in the driveway emulating what Caitlin is doing. And that's going to be good for basketball.
You know what she has, what we were talking about for youngsters with Special Olympics. She has a great attitude. She has incredible enthusiasm. She plays with us. At least she warms up with a smile on her face. And she loves what she does. And she's totally into it. Okay. That's pretty darn good. And she's talented. So that's a great recipe.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your willingness to help us. Thank you for your great attitude around Special Olympics, from your leadership position to also your servant heart. We're grateful.
All right. Good luck. And I predict 95% this year. Not to put pressure on you. Not to put pressure on you, but
I'll take it, Coach. Coming from you, I'll take it as a challenge, motivation, and that because of my relationship with you, I'm not going to let you down.
all right. Good luck.
Thank you, Coach.